It's sad that it had to come to Fox 8 publicizing it on this news, but to get some action, it made me feel a little better.
After seeing our reports exposing dangerous and unsanitary pools in New Orleans, Jill Baume turned to the Fox 8 defenders for help in Plaquemines Parish. In February, we first showed you how from the air, Baume's Braithwaite Park pool glistened. But to the left, to the right, across the street and down the street, dark, stagnant swimming pools surrounded her property. Hidden dangers in the backyards of homes, in many cases vacant since Hurricane Isaac in 2012. 2 months after our report, one pool that was wide open is no longer a safety threat.
We've had one pool filled in with sand, and did the right thing.
From the air, you wouldn't know a pool used to be here. Another pool that was fenced but stagnant now has a heavy metal cover over it.
We found out that was a problem, so we're going to take care of it. It's a whole lot better with the cover on it. That way we abate the mosquitoes and we have no problems.
And we spotted a hose releasing water into the street outside another vacant home with a stagnant swimming pool. The homeowner wouldn't comment, but a week later, the parish told us the owners fixed the pool. The property is no longer in violation. The parish inspection in April included this photo. And when we went back to the neighborhood a third time, our drone captured video of what appears to now be a clean pool. 3 of the 7 blighted pools in Braithwaite Park we've investigated now abated.
I think we made some strides in the last 4 months, and we're not done, and we continue to work at it, and we want to clean it all up.
For years, though, through previous administrations, neighbors have complained. Yet inspection records show, for example, pool was secured by a gate. The property was no longer in violation. Owners secured pool area. Property is no longer in violation. Still, pools remain stagnant. And the parish code says in-ground swimming pools are to be protected by a fence at least 6 feet in height. And it considers any accumulation of stagnant water a nuisance. In February, Councilmember John Bartholomew told us the parish needed to mandate the ordinance that's been in place.
So even if they have a fence, if they have stagnant water, that's still violating your code.
Exactly. It needs to be filled in with dirt, sand, whatever. If the people not moving back and they have an intention of moving, they need to be closed.
I think there was some disconnect in the beginning, and now we're kind of on track with the health department, the code enforcement officer, the legal department, and I think from here we're going forward.
Since that Fox 8 Defenders report in February, a recent public records request revealed that the owners of 3 of the 4 remaining blighted pools now face abatement hearings here at the parish health department. The public notices mailed in March spell out how each property is in violation of parish ordinances, accumulation of stagnant water, and the fence ordinance. Stagnant water and a fence that doesn't meet requirements.
I'm 24 feet up off the ground.
Neighbor Dorothy McGuire's home has the perfect view of the stagnant pool that was missing part of its fence.
I'm worried about the kids in the neighborhood. They have a tendency to be curious.
Neighbors tell us someone has just recently repaired that fence, but the pool remains stagnant. It's one of 2 blighted pools McGuire has to look at every day.
I've called a couple of times and they said that they put fish eating, they eat the lava for the mosquitoes, and that's all I get told.
She'd like to see them drained and filled. And the parish had plans to do that to the pool adjacent to McGuire's house. Records show Plaquemines Parish is the primary owner of the vacant property with this stagnant pool because the owner failed to pay taxes. A truck with sand was actually on site, ready to fill it. But the parish pulled the worker off the job. Plaquemines Parish President Kirk Lapine says the owner, who's still within the period to pay up and get her property back, came forward as that work was about to begin.
Once they fulfill their obligations with the tax roll, we're going to be very stringent on saying your pool's next. I think we've given her to the end of the month of May Okay.
As for the abatement hearings that were supposed to happen April 17th, they were suddenly canceled. Lapine says after a resident involved in a separate code complaint attacked one of the parish's 2 code enforcement officers.
Supposedly he charged her and knocked her down, and he was arrested.
That officer was scheduled to testify on each of the nuisance pools, but she's still recovering.
It was a very important witness, and again, that happened on a Tuesday. The abatement process was on Wednesday, and so we had to cancel. So.
Lapine stressed his team wants to move forward sooner than later. For neighbors like Dorothy McGuire and Jill Baume, it can't happen fast enough.
That really has me concerned, the mosquito issue, because I had a little sister when she was 5, had contracted encephalitis, and she still has health issues today, you know, and so that's a major concern.
We first showed you 7 dark, stagnant swimming pools that, from the air, stood out in the Braithwaite Park subdivision in Plaquemines Parish. All hidden dangers in the backyards of homes, in many cases vacant since Hurricane Isaac in 2012. For years, neighbors reached out for action.
Who have you reported the pools to?
I went through the process and reported it to my councilman. He referred it to the administration. It went to the health department, and when I wasn't getting any action from the health department, I would call them myself and ask them what's going on, and it was like they would tell me their hands are tied, they can't do anything. 2
months after our report, one of those pools filled with sand. A second pool that was fenced but stagnant now has a heavy metal cover. And a third swimming pool's been drained and appears to have clean water. 3 of 7 blighted pools in Braithwaite Park we've investigated now abated.
I think we've accomplished some things in this short period of time, but again, we're not happy till the job's done, and we will keep working diligently to get it done.
Residents like Dorothy McGuire agree. Her porch overlooks not 1, but 2 pools still considered nuisances.
I'm worried about the kids in the neighborhood. They have a tendency to be curious.
Since then, Plaquemines Parish addressed nuisance properties at abatement hearings in June.
You understand the main concern is that the pool is a danger to children if they can enter that gate.
The parish attorney explained a pool gate that isn't properly locked is actually a criminal offense that would be turned over to the sheriff's office. Owner Elizabeth Gonzalez agreed to fix it and cover her pool.
So I said I'm gonna cover the pool until, I get along, fix it up. So we both agree on that on 407.
The parish gave her 45 days to install the cover. The owners of this property were not present, and there's question over who actually has clear title to it. But the health department superintendent recommended the parish bring the property into compliance.
Board all openings to the building, board the hole in the second floor roof structure, call a bee contractor to remove the bees, cut the grass in the back, and drain and fill the pool in the backyard.
Parish crews will now drain and fill the pool with sand and place liens on the property for those costs. The parish says they will take the same action on this home.
These people are living elsewhere, and they wouldn't want blighted property where they're living now.
And since this house recently sold, the parish gave the new owners 30 days from the June 5th abatement hearing to clean up the stagnant swimming pool.
I think there was some disconnect in the beginning, and now we kind of on track with the health department, the code enforcement officer, the legal department, and I think from here we're going forward.
For the Fox 8 Defenders, Shelley Brown, Fox 8 Local First.
For one thing, the kids, and then another thing, the mosquitoes.
For years, Dorothy McGuire's worried about nuisance swimming pools in her Braithwaite Park subdivision. Most of them dark and stagnant since Hurricane Isaac devastated the area in 2012.
I thought they were going to fill them in or have them at least drained.
That actually happened this week when Plaquemines Parish crews took action to clean up 2 of the nuisance pools. We found crews draining the pool at 110 West Park in Braithwaite. Several loads of sand were ready to eventually fill the pool. Around the corner at 433 Palm Drive, a similar scene. Plaquemines Parish employees had already drained this pool, stagnant since Hurricane Katrina nearly 14 years ago. We found a worker preparing to fill the pool with several loads of sand.
I feel, for the community to come back, things have to be taken care of.
After a series of Fox 8 Defenders reports exposing 7 nuisance pools, property owners abated 3 of them. One was filled with sand, another pool covered, and a third one drained and cleaned. Those who didn't clean up were notified to attend abatement hearings last month.
You understand the main concern is that the pool is a danger to children if they can enter that gate?
2 homeowners were given timelines to bring their pools into compliance.
I think we've accomplished some things in this short period of time, but again, we're not happy till the job's done, and we will keep working diligently to get it done.
5 months after our reports in February began, 5 of the 7 nuisance pools we've investigated are no longer dangerous and unsanitary.